So they didn't do anything different back here. This is the same door as our door. So let's move on to the seats.
Okay.
The seats, Brian, are different. We do have...
Vinyl.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, leather.
Yeah, leather,
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. You do get the...
Welcome back to Texas Truck Channel. I'm Brian.
I'm Craig.
And boy, I'm excited about this. We've been waiting for a while on this truck because we didn't chase it down because we own a Ranger already. But there's something special about this one, Craig. What is it?
The 2.7.
2.7, baby. I'm excited about this. And it's a Lariat trim, which we have not reviewed yet. We've seen one static, but we've not driven one. And we've been living with this one for about a week. Unfortunately for Craig, he was busy. I drove it almost the entire week. So I've got all the info on that, but there's a lot to cover that Craig already knows a lot about. But here's the Monroney. Let's get into it, Craig. Lariat 2.7, 10-speed auto. This has the 10R60 trans, just like our 2.3-liter variant does. The exterior color is hot pepper red metallic, which my neighbor is absolutely in love with. He claims this is the most beautiful truck he's ever seen in his life.
It is a good color.
It's a great color. In fact, I did not appreciate it until it showed up in the driveway. It looks really nice. I would probably select it if we were doing something else. Now, pricing wise, this is a 2024 model. The 2.7 EcoBoost engine is a $2,200 option. I think worth every penny. Bargain. The paint is $495, also a bargain. This has the off-road package, the FX4, which we have in our Ranger, $1,445. And then you have the advanced towing package for $825. I would skip that unless you just want the hitch. I do like the hitch, but the whole backup Pro Assist stuff, if you can't back it up, don't tow it anyways. That's where I'm at. And then you've got running boards, which are dumb. Hey, I meant to ask Craig, did our truck come with running boards?
I don't remember. I don't think it did.
And then I think it did when we took them off.
Did we?
I don't know. We're gonna go back in the archives. We'll drop an image here. Austin's probably gonna help us with that one. All right, Craig, they are off, and I want to say that these are totally fine for a step. Definitely not what we're looking for, but not as bad as the Toyota Predator steps that claim to be a rail. These actually, because they're continuous, you have a step wherever you want it instead of just where a dumb hoop is at. And these are actually really light. If you're not doing off-road stuff, pretty good step, just not what we're going for. Yeah, they're awful. I can tell you right now,
Yeah.
these are one of the worst. Well, they're not the worst. They're better than the Toyota ones. But
It is useless.
I get in and I go, oh, I just hit my shin every
Yeah,
time. So
it's
no
not
thanks.
tall enough. Yeah, definitely did.
And this does have the spray and bed liner, which I like a lot. If you can't get yourself a Lasfit bed liner, that's the next best thing. So you have that. All this comes up to, Craig, a big whopping $54,375, which I'll be honest is way too much. Way too much for this truck. It just is. And I'll actually have this argument to our buddy Corey at GT Garage Talk. He thinks this is the best truck available in the midsize. He's reviewed this exact truck. He's in love with it. He's not wrong for that, but it's too expensive. And this is my problem with the Lariat trims, both on Maverick and on Ranger. They're so expensive relative to an XLT. It's $8,000 more for this, and you don't get cooled seats. You still have fake leather. It's not even real leather hide stuff. You do a lot more soft touch, which we'll cover in a minute. I just don't think there's a value proposition. That's really all it is. So, moving on down, Craig, let's start with the nose of this thing. This looks just like our truck, except the headlights are different. Instead of having one LED for the headlights, you have dual.
Performance LED.
This is the performance LED. This is the same headlight you'll get on the Ranger Raptor, so it has better lighting. I have driven it at night, and it does light really well.
It is better?
Yeah, it is better, but I'll say with our ditch lights we have on our truck, it's about the same.
So if you added a Cali raised ditch light,
you would have the
with
power
this
of the sun with you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like directed energy at that point. You're gonna melt your enemy. The thing about this is one of these actually falls with your steering wheel a little bit. Not as good as Mazda's do, I'll be honest.
no one is.
No one can beat that.
Yeah.
But it is a nice feature to have. Coming down, you do have the divorced fog light that is also LED. It looks really nice. Our Ranger does this too. If you had the fog lights off, these act as cornering lamps. That's pretty cool that you get that on XLT and Lariat. I'm not sure about XL.
A smart, easy feature.
Yeah, it's like a cost-free thing to do. I like it a lot. Down below, because we're in the FX4, Craig, we do have visible recovery points, which every truck should do. I'm still talking to Toyota. This is one of the easiest things you'll ever engineer. Figure it out. I'm not sure why it's such an issue.
Actually, there is a lot of engineering to it, actually. But
yes. We have, actually, we found out with our truck, there's a bunch going on here, but just do it anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, now come down here.
What? A bash plate?
A bash plate. That's the FX4 bit. I love that. All right, Craig, coming on down to Tire Town. These are a Goodyear Wrangler Territory ATS, and the S stands for, well, I can't say it, it's a child show. More or less, this is still, hasn't changed, Craig.
These are the same ones we had.
Yeah, these are 18s instead of 17s. So this is real quick, let's get into it. It is a 255 65 R18.
You call these the wagon tires.
Yeah, these are wagon wheel tires. Look at the tread pattern.
Ugh.
This will go down in history, Craig, as the worst tire we have ever tested.
It is. They're not
It's
good.
awful.
They're not good in any traction, pavement, surface, anything.
Wet, dry, whatever. Now, hold on, I gotta back up. There's a fun factor we're leaving out of this. When boost hits on this engine in first or second gear, the back tires light up, which is entertaining because they have such poor grip.
Okay, so it is good for that.
It is entertaining for that. But in
poor
terms of
grip,
like
it's good.
actual grip and like wet weather, dry weather, noise,
durability.
these suck.
Yeah.
They're not good. What you should do is get yourself some Firestones like we have on ours.
Yes.
Those Destination XTs are quieter than this and grip better than the wet and the dry and are really good off-road. So, yeah.
The worst wheel in history though, because directional.
I don't think it's the worst
It's going the
wheel in
wrong
history.
direction on this side, but on the other side,
The only direction.
on the other side,
Oh my gosh.
it's going the right direction. Oh, it's terrible.
You're such a panty waste about it. It's one spoke. Who cares?
Look, Eric O'Hana's with me, another one of our buddies on YouTube. Back me up.
One off productions and one off garage. All right, come on down. Because you paid for the Lariat, you get the Lariat badge right here. That's $8,000.
Oh.
You also get power folding mirrors, just like our XLT, but you get a painted mirror cap instead of a bare one.
But you do get the camera stuff. Is that part of the
Okay,
Lariat?
that's part of the Lariat package this has.
Okay.
And the 360 cam is excellent. I will say, it's really good. And if you want that, it's probably worth doing.
Right. Wait.
Huh. Even the Ford guys said, hey, we don't have a keypad on this one.
What?
I don't know why.
It's a Lariat.
Now here's the deal. This truck was built during the COVID era when this was probably sitting in a lot in Michigan for 6 months before it was actually pushed out.
Probably.
I don't know why it doesn't have one. Our truck has one. Anyways, that should be a Lariat standard.
Yep.
These are the steps that are just
Useless.
This truck isn't that tall. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I'm probably being insensitive to people that are shorter, but it's just, Craig, you're 5'9"?
Yeah.
These are in your way, aren't they?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Come on down to Field War Town. Boom, they got you covered because Ford knows what they're doing. Go ahead, put your hater comments in now about, oh, these are bad. Have you ever had one of these break on you, Craig?
Nope.
Have
They're
you
the
ever
best.
have you ever had fuel stolen out of your vehicle?
Never.
Same here. Maybe it's just where we live. All right, coming down here, Craig, it does say 87 plus on octane, so you can run on 87. I currently have 93 in the tank right now in hopes that it makes it just pull a little more. I haven't noticed that on the street yet, so we'll see when we do 0 to 60. Coming out back, we do have leaf springs, not the 5-link. If you get the Raptor, you end up with a 5-link suspension with Fox shocks. This is just like our truck, traditional leaf springs and FX4 shocks that are branded FX4 on the side. I do like the ride quality on this for what it is. We'll get into that more in a minute. But more importantly out back, because we have the tow package, Craig, this is a factory hitch, not one that you and I added later on like we did in our truck. There's the bumper.
There's the whole bumper.
Okay. Thanks, C-Plant. The whole bumper's going on?
Yeah, the whole bumper.
It doesn't seem like we're doing something right, Craig. You do get the 7-way harness right here.
That is nice.
That is nice, and the 4-way flat right there.
Yeah, that's good.
All OEM, and that's pretty much it that there is back here, except, oh wait, the noise. Let's hear it. Yeah, boy, let's go. Sounds like a really nice sewing machine. What about it back here?
Yeah, the 4x does sound better as far as just noises go.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh! Is it because of the character aspect?
Yes.
We'll talk about more in a minute. I think the 2.3 is more character than this. Let's go check out the engine. All right, boys and girls, you ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
2.7 liters of engineering excellence. And there's, okay, that's right. They don't have the prop rods like we do, but that's okay. We got a stick, it works, it's fine. And there it is, Craig. This is the engine coverless industrial complex project that Ford calls the 2.7 liter nano architecture V6. Twin turbocharged by Garrett. As you can see here, baby little turbos about the size of an orange. Look, here's the deal, Craig. 315 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds of torque. That is 10 horsepower less than the F-150 variant of this. And this truck feels slower than the 150 of the 2.7. Part of the reason why is I think they weigh about the same. And this just feels like it's holding itself back in the tune just a little bit. Not 10 horsepower worth, but in torque management down low, it feels about 50 foot-pounds down out of first gear. But you know, that's just what I'm experiencing here. The good news is if you want to put a blow-off valve spacer, it's the same one as our 2.3 Ranger. You can just bolt it right there, it's the same actual diverter valve. The reality, Craig, is that this is an excellent engineered product. It's incredibly smooth. I've had Lexus levels of refinement all week, and that really surprises me. Our 2.3 liter is a little brash. It has a little bit of old Ford Pinto in there, and it doesn't idle as smooth as this does. This is incredibly velvety and silky, and it makes a lot more torque. The bad news is if you're a gearhead and you're reading stats, you're expecting a little more visceral experience. You're not gonna find that here. Think Lexus LX400 more than you would Mustang GT, if that makes any sense. All that covered, let's check out the interior with Craig.
All right, Brian, let's check out the 2024 Ranger Lariat. And we're gonna focus on the Lariat things because look, we've had a Ranger, you've seen our Ranger, we know what it's all about. Lariat, I expect a powered tailgate.
That's,
Okay, well, it is assisted at least, but it is not powered.
excuse me, so is ours.
Right,
Okay,
and
okay,
and this is a
okay.
little bit of the Lariat problem we're gonna run into. You mentioned it earlier on the Maroni. I do love this this bed liner. This is really nice. If you can't get Lasfit, of course, you do get some extra things here that we don't have. So you get, let's see, 180 watts. That's nice, and you get 400 watts there. Not bad. I mean, you could do some things with that. Not a whole lot. And we don't have that.
You can charge like a jackery off that, or do like a plug-in cooler,
and that would work.
cooler. Yeah.
But I do like the tough bed liner. And then it's not powered up, obviously, because it didn't power down. Not a big deal, but it is what it is. Let's move to the rear. All right, let's focus on the Lariat specific things. And let's start with the door, Brian. It should be nice and padded and, oh, okay. So they didn't do anything different back here. This is the same door as our door. So let's move on to the seats.
Okay.
The seats, Brian, are different. We do have,
vinyl.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, leather.
Yeah, leather,
yeah.
Brian.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. You do get the folding armrest.
Well, I do like the contrast stitching. That does look nice.
Yeah, no, that is nice, and it's a comfortable seat. There's nothing wrong with this seat. Actually, it's fine. And actually the advantage of the leather is that it is more wipeable.
Look,
I do like that.
My kids had spilt chocolate M&Ms and crushed them and melted them here. I wiped it off this morning.
And in all seriousness, that is the advantage of this over cloth. Cloth maybe a little more breathable in this. And in this Texas heat, we like that.
That's true.
But if you have kids or you're going to make a mess, this is just wipeable, and that's nice. If you get mud on it or anything like that, that is really nice.
Let's check out the seat flip. Oh, there's no battery down here.
There's no battery because this is not a hybrid. Thank you very much.
I will say though, I wish this was a 60-40 split bottom. So if you did have a kid seat that's like bolted in here, you can't really
That is a little annoying.
But you do have, unlike the F-150, you do have a flip forward handle for the back.
That is nice.
Oh, and a sub from the factory, which I can't really tell is there. So there's that.
How about that? All right, to the front. All right, Brian, let's check out the interior of the front of the Lariat. And as payload first, Brian, we still get 1,356 pounds, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
1,500 is kind of the magic number. Anything 1,500 and above is like magic in the overland world. This is still pretty good, and the reason it's lower is because it has more options. So as you put more options, you add more weight, that number comes down.
18-inch wheels.
This is the exact same suspension as ours, so that's why that number's come down. I think ours is 200 pounds higher, maybe.
Yeah.
So, which seems about right. But let's check out the door, Brian. We do get nice padded. Look, I do like this. That is nice. When you're driving, you put your elbow on there. That is nice. Thank you. I do like that. Do like this little trim piece right below that. That is unique to the Lariat. That is nice as well.
It's good.
You do get memory seats. That's convenient as well. If you have different drivers in your family, that's convenient. Brian and I use this a lot when we have cars on loan. It's very nice because he's 6'4", I'm 5'9". We need different seating positions.
I do wish our Ranger had that.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Other than that, you get the same nice Ford design door with the pull handle, which is the best door handle in history. It also holds a phone, and you get the same door pockets down below like we have in our Ranger. That's pretty nice.
Now I do notice right over here, you get power seats as well. Like our XLT doesn't have power seats anywhere, so you get on both sides here.
Get them. Okay, yeah, good point. We get on both sides. Lariat does give you that. That's an interesting and unique thing to the Lariat. Let's start this bad boy up, which it does have the no actual key. You get keyless start, and we get a bigger screen here, Brian. I do like this. We're not the biggest fans of digital screens. In fact, we think the market is ripe for analog gauges to come back.
Oh yeah.
Which hold us to that. I'm sure they will. But the biggest thing is the base screen. They make the base screen so bad in ours that this actually is kind of nice. So
yeah, and this is a good screen if you're going to do that.
It is a good screen, and you know, everything is functional here, just like an F-150 or any all the Ford products. It works really good here. I like that a lot. Also, you can, as soon as you put it in gear, if you hit the up button once, boom, you can see what gear you're in. I love knowing what gear you're in. No other manufacturer lets you do that. Ford has always done that, and they've been good about that, and that is just nice to know.
Yeah, give the people what they want, man.
Yeah. Over here, we got a nice lim button, a cruise limiting speed number. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so this has the full suite that 150 gets.
Exactly.
Lane keep and all that kind of stuff.
This is the best part. This button right here, that's your radar cruise control. It's a crime that Ford has not put that on all the trims like Toyota has done.
Yeah.
They should just do that, but at least you have it here, and that is one of the big advantages to the Lariat. Like that a lot.
Yeah.
We also, Brian, we had to go back and measure this in our truck. You do get a little bit wider screen. It's the same kind of here. Well, basically this bezel is thinner. So in our
the border is
in our truck, this like basically where my finger's at is still just all plastic and it's not actual screen. So this comes out maybe half an inch more overall on both sides. Yeah. So you do get a little bit bigger screen, and so that, you know what, that's nice. But I do like that it's also not garish like the Toyota Tacomas.
It's integrated very well.
In a weird way, the Tacoma bigger screen is worse than the smaller screen because it's too big and it actually blocks your view, literally blocks your view more. That doesn't happen here, and I like that Ford kept that right.
Visibility is very good in this truck.
You do get dual zone auto climate control. That is nice as well. And Brian, because of the 2.7, we get this mouse as a shifter.
It's like an ergo mouse for your desk. Like your company said you need this and you don't?
I think Logitech maybe designed that, which it's a Logitech shifter.
Okay.
And also, Brian, we get all the tow stuff, so you can do your tow button and you can steer yourself, which, like Brian's right, if you need that to tow, don't tow.
Don't tow.
Just don't tow.
Don't.
But
hey, where's the 4A button?
Yeah, I thought we'd get 4 Auto because there's a spot for it right here. It's in the Raptor, Brian. It is in the Raptor.
Yeah.
Which also tells you they can do it.
Well, look, hang on.
They're just choosing not to.
Wait, the Colorado Canyon gives you that at this price point.
Yes.
I thought that should be a thing. But
yeah,
okay.
Brian, the Colorado Trail Boss has that at $38,000.
Wait a minute. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hey, okay.
That's a little bit of a problem. Well, last Lariat unique thing, Brian.
Soft touch, by the way, which
Soft
is nice.
touch. And
boom.
yes, little magic box. I do like that a lot. That is kind of nice. Like,
yeah.
They're just not using that space in the XLT trim. So
yeah, ours doesn't have that. I like
but
that.
They got to give you a reason to move up to the trims. Those are all the reasons to kind of move up to the Lariat. I'm sorry, I do have one more thing. We do get
that is a big deal.
We do get a powered window. That is nice because, look, if that thing's not powered, you almost don't need it because you can't reach it and never open it when you want to. So.
Do you know when I use that this week?
Anytime you
every single day.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
every day.
Every single day.
No, you do get some nice airflow. You can do that, and it's nice to not have to get out, open it, get back in the truck because you can't reach it because it's a double cab. So it has to be powered. I like that a lot.
Good move.
Brian, enough of all that though, Brian. I really want to know about this powertrain and what it can do 0 to 60 and talk more about how the drivability of it.
Let's hit it. All right, Craig, quick reminder for our viewers before we hit the go button. Our stock 2.3 Ranger FX4, so same everything other than the engine mechanically.
Correct.
Was 6.9 to 60.
Which wasn't bad.
Quite impressive actually, because the Tacoma non-hybrid is 7.5 to 60,
something like that,
something like that, and the hybrid was like 7.4.
Yeah,
it's like almost the same.
Yeah.
So I figured out in our testing here this morning, and luckily the temperature's not too high yet. Traction off.
Okay.
4 high.
Okay.
Sport mode is slightly faster than tow mode. Sometimes the other way around, but we found that out.
Yep. Okay.
What are your predictions?
If it gets below, just sub 6, I'll be super impressed.
Okay, so you're thinking low 6s, mid 6s?
I'm thinking low 6s.
Definitely more than 6.9 or lower than 6.9.
Yeah.
Okay. The trick is to let the turbo build boost and then dump the brake before it cuts boost, because it will cut boost at idle. Ready?
Right.
And about 5 psi, dump it. Not bad.
All right.
Those tires grappling a little bit.
Yeah.
50 and 60 miles an hour.
With me in the car, so it looks like we'll beat our truck, 6.96.
Not bad, and that's the 5th run of this moment, so there's probably some heat soak.
A little heat soak, yep.
AC stayed on the whole time, and I'll tell you right now, the number without you in the car, Craig.
Oh yeah, what was it?
6.34.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's no shame on that.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Low 6 is not bad. That's healthy.
That's a good number.
And I think that's a tune away and proper tires away maybe from getting
a very low 5. I can tell you what's happening with this, and with driving other Fords and talking to Ford engineers. This has a torque management system in it. And so there are torque limiters in lower gears and lower speeds.
Yep.
I understand that. That's fine. We're not getting more than 10 psi in first gear.
Right.
And at idle, we're not able to build boost beyond about 4.5, 5 psi. That's it. And then if you sit there on it, it just cuts boost back to 0. Yeah. So it's like no fun from the launch. And the beauty of all-wheel drive and turbos is you rip these things off the line. Ford has very robust drivetrains. You can do that. Watch the Coyote, the Mexican GTRs you see on YouTube.
Yeah.
Those are all stock diffs and everything. They get it done. This is not letting you get into it. Now, in higher gears, I've seen as high as 14, maybe 15 psi. So it's boost managing all the way. And this is my complaint with this engine. Out of the box, it's kind of boring. But that's because it's so good. Right? It's so refined. It's just this same motor in the 10R80 in the F-150 rips. An STX 2.7 is so fast for what it is. This doesn't feel fast ever.
It's definitely detuned. We can tell that, even though it's the same motor.
Right.
So again, tune gets us right back to what we want.
Totally.
So you saw that, and you can get that tune from Ford. You don't avoid warranties, that sort of thing.
The option's there.
Look, this is not the hottest motor you can get in a Ranger, and it's still over a full second faster than the Tacoma Hybrid. That makes 465 alleged pound-feet of torque.
Right. That's a good point.
Okay,
Alleged. Yeah, this makes 65 foot-pounds of torque less than the hybrid.
Yes.
Right.
So that's incredible to me.
Yeah.
Also, you mentioned on camera earlier that this weighs about the same as F-150 because this is steel, not aluminum.
Right, exactly.
Curious if they ever go to aluminum in the Ranger. That would be interesting.
I don't know why they haven't.
I'm surprised they haven't.
Yeah, me neither. Maybe it's because this is more of a world car. The 150 is really a North American vehicle.
Maybe they just don't sell enough of them in volume. I don't know. It's an interesting move. They even done it on the Super Duties. Like, why have they not?
Well, it might be supply chain in other parts of the world. Might be part of it.
That's got to be it.
And all this tariff talk isn't helping this stuff.
That's
so
a good
probably
point.
part of it too. So.
Okay, all I have to say though, Brian, there's not really a fuel economy hit here.
Okay, so Craig didn't get to do his MPG run like he normally does, but Jim from Ford, Jim Dobble's the guy that drops these off, has the faintest of tow. He is an MPG enthusiast like you, Craig, and it came dropped off at 24 miles a gallon average, urban mix.
That's the thing. And we've seen that in the F-150s with this motor. We know this thing can get mid 20 miles per gallon.
All day, and two-wheel drive especially.
Especially in
this
two-wheel
is
drive.
So
that's impressive. There's not a hit there. It's only $2,000 more than the 2.3. We've found some deals in our marketplace in our area for a 2.7 XLT.
38 grand for one of those.
I think a Lariat's maybe not the best value option here.
Right.
But this powertrain is the move, I think, in the Ranger, even compared to the 3-liter in the Ranger Raptor, because the Ranger Raptor, the 3-liter is not enough more.
For a Raptor title, that was my problem with the Ranger Raptor. While that's a super cool truck, I'm underwhelmed by, and same with the Bronco Raptor. It's not lit on fire enough, not exciting enough for what that is. And for this, it makes more sense.
This is the Goldilocks of the Ranger engine options, and this is the one I would get because it is smooth, it is quiet, it does have more power you can feel.
Oh.
And tune can solve some of the issues you're having, I think. This is the one to get.
Well, look, these issues are like car guy issues. They're not real issues.
No.
I'm upset because it's made so well. that's the issue, and it can be solved. Super simple. So anyways, moral of the story is I'm with you. I think XLT 2.7, we found them with a diff lock for 37, 38 grand right now. That's the move. I think that's the best truck in the midsize market right now.
Yeah.
Because the Gladiator is number 2 for us because we like to overland. But if you're not into that, there's some trade-offs.
Right.
There's no trade-offs here.
Yeah.
Just good.
This is a great motor and a great powertrain. I love that they give you the 10-speed and the 2.7, like you can get in the F-150 full size, no trade-offs.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
It's good.
Good job, Ford.
Good job, Ford. Great truck, and it drives on the point. I'm glad we got our Ranger when we did.
Yeah.
It's a good truck. Even the 2.3, while it's slower and not as good as this, it's more charming and it still works for me. It's a good platform. That's really all I got. Next is the hill test. You ready for that?
Oh, let's do it. Stay tuned for the hill test in our other video.
See you in the next one.